I grew up with the Super Friends, so it was always, meanwhile, in the Hall of Justice.
That's amazing.
I mean, I'm really excited to originate it. You know, one of my friends who's a huge comic book fan, he's like, you know, you're not following in somebody else's footsteps. Like, you're creating this character, so if they ever do it again, it's going to be always going back to you, and that's very exciting.
It's not all, oh yeah, I'm a superpower, let's get into this. Yeah, exactly. If you're young and you're dealing with this, there might be some, like, I don't want to do this. I don't want this responsibility. I just want to go to prom. I want to be normal, you know?
I think what's so interesting is that you've got a superhero show, and you know, you've got superheroes like wants to do it, wants to get out there, and wants to like make changes, and then you've got someone who's more reluctant. And I think that's something that we haven't seen before. You always assume that like, oh, you got superpowers, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love having superpowers, right? And I think what's interesting is that you kind of got this girl who's like, you know, I just want to be normal.
I really want to hear about the first day you got to showcase your powers and being on set for that day.
It was emotional. It was a really cool experience. You know, like every actor dreams of being a superhero. So for that moment to come and you're on set and you're doing your stunts and it's all unfolding, it was really, really exciting. And I've been in stunt training for a while, since July now, preparing and getting ready. So I was just like, all right, coach, when do I start kicking?
It was a very cool day. With something like that, you really just have to use your imagination. And this is when I thank God that I have a little brother that I will run around with, pretending the floor was lava and stuff, because you have a huge imagination. You can just play around with it. And shooting that scene was just kind of surreal for me. You know, every actor wants to play a superhero at some point in their career, and to be able to do it at 19 is just, it's a blessing.
You know, for me, the analogy is if your daughters came to you and they were like, Dad, I want to ride a motorcycle and I want to join the military. You'd be like, okay, I understand why you want to do that, but I'm scared for you, and I don't know how that's going to end, and I don't know, you know, you're putting your life in danger every time you go out there. So it's like, you know, it's that, how do you kind of tread that line of being supportive to your children when they have a gift or talent, and, you know, and how do you protect them from potentially harming themselves?
Yeah, how many billionaires do you know? I mean, and how many working class people do you know? I think it makes it more accessible and more relevant. It's a superhero that answers working people's needs. And so our villains are more of a working class type, as opposed to arch villains that have these crazy
level hustlers and gangsters.
That and high level gangsters, tough people that you know, give people a lot of problems, but they're not villains of a cartoon nature.
Give me a fun dream scenario that you want to see Black Lightning cross over with some of the other heroes. And who would you want to punch first? Because you got to have a fight first before you settle down and become allies, right?
Right. Well, I think it's the most natural would be me against Arrow, you know, because we're both kind of hand-to-hand guys. I have powers, but we're hand-to-hand guys. I really love for them to come over to our world and play.
I've got mine for you. It's got to be a musical crossover. Come on.
Listen, they've already done it. I think that they should do another one, and I would love to be involved. I would love to be involved.
Musical episode part 2.
Let's do it. I'm down all the way. See, I like the way you think. This is why we're right here.
Right here.